At this time, we would ask you to please stand up if you're able and move your hands for the playing of our national anthem. Fans, earlier this week, the OCAA announced the 2024-25 regular season award winners. I'd like to call upon Humber Athletic Director Ray Chantel to hand out the OCAA League Awards. First award is the OCAA Men's Basketball West Division Best Defensive Team and the OCAA Basketball West Division Champions. I'd like to call the captains Humber Hawks. Next award. The OCAA Men's Basketball East Division First Team All-Star from Algonquin is Tesla Luke. Up next, the OCAA Men's Basketball East Division Sixth Man of the Year from Algonquin, it's Simon Desta. Up next, the OCAA Men's Basketball West Division All-Rookie Team from Humber, DJ Burke. Next up, the OCAA Men's Basketball West Division Second Team All-Star from Humber, number 23, Jalen Menzies. Next up, the OCAA Men's Basketball West Division Sixth Man of the Year, our number 8, Isaiah Brady Clark. Next up is the OCAA Men's Basketball Coach of the Year. Please give it up for Omar Miles. Last but not the least, OCAA Men's Basketball West Division First Team All-Star, West Division Player of the Year, CCAA Men's Basketball All-Canadian, and the OCAA Men's Basketball Player of the Year, number 5, Malik Grant. Give it up once again for all your award winners. Now please welcome your officials for the game, Greg Spagnoli, Christy Wong, and the crew chief, Dave Maxson. It's time to welcome the starting lineups for both the teams. Firstly, for the Algonquin Wolves. Leading off from Vancouver, British Columbia, a 5'9" guard, number 6, Jansen Balmaceda. From Ottawa, Ontario, a 6'3" guard, number 7, Albert Opena. From Ottawa, 6'7", forward, number 9, Ted Braden. From Timmins, a 6'2" forward, number 21, Chris LaChapelle. And from Ottawa, Ontario, a 6'4" forward, number 24, Tweslock Luke. The head coach for Algonquin is Trevor Costello. All right, Hawks Nation, please welcome the starting 5 put together by the head coach, Omar Miles. Leading off from Brampton, a 6'7" small forward, number 5, Malik Grant. From Brampton is a 6-foot point guard, number 6, Cameron David. From the Rex, a 6-foot point guard, and number 12, Kuabena and Tweed. From Toronto, a 6'6" small forward, number 14, Adrian Aluyi. And from Walton, a 5'10" guard, number 23, Jalen Menzies.
Showtime. Welcome to the Hawks Nest. It's great to have you here for some playoff men's basketball action. The #1 team in the nation defending provincial champions Humber Hawks with an undefeated record taking on the Algonquin Wolves here today. My name is Matt Hamill alongside my broadcast partner Zach Benoit, and Zach, should be a fun contest here today as the Hawks look to, if they win today, host the Final Four tournament right here in the Hawks next weekend, but the Algonquin Wolves are in their way for that.
Yeah, Algonquin on the year finishing 12-6. Humber, what a year they had. Again, a perfect 18-0 record.
And quick first possession of the game for Algonquin. A layup that won't go. It's going to stay Algonquin ball at 15 seconds on the shot clock here. And thrown up top. Pre-game, we had the ceremony announcing some of the OCAA award winners. And above all, you could say, is Malik Grant the Player of the Year in the province of Ontario. Well, right now, Humber's on defense, and it's going to be yet another rebound popped up here. Ball's loose, scooped up by Algonquin, fighting hard for that first bucket of the game, but they're still not going to find it. Rebounded, and Cameron David carries it up the court. Up to Quabena Antwi. Over to Jalen Menzies. Menzies a second-team All-Star, and he's going to throw up a shot from downtown and won't go, and still scoreless 1 minute into the game.
So like you mentioned, partner, if Humber win this, they will be the ones hosting the Final Four. And if Algonquin wins, that Final Four will fall to the St. Clair Saints, who won their matchup yesterday against the Lambton Lions.
And we'll have a whistle to kill that possession for Humber. The Hawks earning their trip here to this divisional, or this round of the playoffs, after a big W over La Cité. 113 points scored for Humber in that contest to La Cité's 67. And it was a pretty sizable win for Algonquin over George Brown, and that enabled their berth here to this round of the playoffs. Pardon me, it was the Niagara Knights. Sorry about that, partner. It was a very decisive victory for this Algonquin team, and Humber now looking for opening bucket of the game. Menzies another three ball, and he makes good this time, and getting on the board in stylish fashion here for Humber.
Menzies has been an elite player for the Hawks ever since he transferred over here.
And answering right back with a three of their own, and that was Algonquin's Albert Opina. Grant now with it. Grant has been outstanding all season long. He put up a 40-piece in one of the final games of the regular season. And Menzies, the man on the spot, still won't get it to go, though. Fighting for it there, up high, and Louis couldn't get the finish.
That's one of the rare misses we've seen from Adrian Louis down low. Somebody that's so good at finishing at the rim. Had a percentage around that 50 to 60 mark of his percentage on the field.
Yeah, 61% on the season. That's good for third in the OCAA. But like you said, uncharacteristic miss in tight. Here's Malik Grant, the fadeaway, and the harm. And a chance for a three-point play for Malik Grant, who has been absolutely dynamite. He's a very dynamic player, Zach, on both ends of the court, but offensively, we've seen him really shine on multiple occasions this year. The All-Canadian Player of the Year, West Division Player of the Year. And not going to make good on the free throw. So 5-3 is our score in favor of Humber. Ball popped out to the top, handled by Algonquin. And another chance here for the Wolves. Rebounding for Humber has been a strength, but that time it's the pickpocket that's going to allow them to take possession. Antwi fires it over to Grant, who's called for the travel right in front of head coach Omar Miles. And Zach, while we're talking awards that have been dished out, a look at Humber's bench there. Coach Miles, in his fourth year as head coach for Humber, was the coach of the year.
Yeah, head coach Omar Miles is just such a smart individual. The players, they always want to rally behind him. I asked him before the game, I said, Coach, what's the plan coming in today? And he said, it's the same as always, defense, defense, defense. You know he meant business because he emphasized defense 3 times.
La Chapelle with a nice finish there, the fifth-year guy, able to tie the game up with that latest bucket. And Antwi with kind of a hectic shot there, tries to make something happen, won't go. La Chapelle right back down, and another bucket for number 21. Who's listed as 6'2". He looks a lot taller than that, partner, as Antwi fires up a wild shot, and that will fall, and the harm. How about that? Antwi with a couple of circus shots. So La Chapelle, we mentioned, with some big plays on the offensive side. He's going to get the foul against him that time.
Well, I pulled up the bracket here for the men's basketball. Humber and Algonquin, obviously the last quarterfinal match that's going on. Georgian, they won their match, so Humber will play Georgian, it looks like, if it's going by the bracket that was posted by OCAA on their Instagram. It will be Humber and Georgian, and on the other side, it will be Durham versus St. Clair, and what should be a good matchup between the two teams.
Humber with some active hands defensively. And the turnover here as a result. So as you mentioned, Zach, you spoke with Humber's head coach, and he emphasized defense. And this is a Humber team that has been very dynamic in a number of categories, but one that also stands out, rebounding. They're leading the province in rebounds, Zach. We'll see if that remains a factor. And another foul against the Wolves, as that has been a pattern early in this game. Much to the frustration we're seeing right in front of us here of the head coach of the Wolves, Trevor Costello.
And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was one more award that I don't know if it was announced or if it was announced in the jumble of awards that were for the Humber Hawks men's team. Isaiah Brady Clark, 6th man of the year, a player coming off the bench who had a phenomenal year for the Humber Hawks.
And on the other side for the Wolves, Simon Desta, 5th-year player, was the 6th man of the year in the East Division. And also awarded a first-team All-Star nod was 2nd-year player Teslok Luck. And the Wolves are able to get it over and establish possession here. Humber applying some pressure, and that ball is going everywhere. Thrown up and grabbed by Brady Clark, and now Romeo Osas Joshua, who looked to have slipped there a bit, partner, and that's gonna blow out that offensive chance as he loses the handle.
Yeah, good thing he's all right too, because he slipped and it looks like he lost his balance a little bit when he was cutting down low. So hopefully he's all right, as looks like Burke checking in here for David.
Yeah, DJ Burke, who is a member of the all-rookie team after a very impressive rookies campaign. And good defense there by Burke as he's able to get a hand up, and the air ball is handled by Humber.
And that's beautiful defense, like you said. You know, he doesn't jump and challenge the shot. He just keeps his arms straight up, lets the attacker kind of make the mistake.
Rebounded by Burke. Well, how about that? Gets enough of it to get the finish, and Humber has been coming out guns blazing here with yet another free throw opportunity for Humber. Here's a second look. Grant put it up. Burke was the man in the right spot for the finish and a chance to make it a three-point play. Got 5 minutes left in this first quarter. We'll get that clock fixed for you, but as it stands right now, 5-point lead for Humber. Good finish there as the Wolves needed an answer. And Desta, we mentioned his name earlier with the bucket. Romeo's a three-point specialist, but he's gonna miss his first attempt of the game.
There's Adrian Aluyi on the far side with that offensive board. Something he is so good at doing.
Yeah, Humber first in overall rebounds per game. And how about that for the player of the year? Big three-pointer. When it comes to offensive rebounds, Zach, that's a huge part of Humber's game. They routinely get those second, third chances. Leads to a lot of points. Humber averaging a total of almost 16 offensive rebounds per game.
Humber is playing so smart defensively early on here in this one. They're really allowing Algonquin to make the mistakes.
We just saw there the 28th year head coach, Coach Costello, for this Wolves team. And he sees his team down by 6 early in this one. Zipping these passes around, Brady Clark, and the nice finish there by Lucas Lewis. Now that was what you love to see, Zach, just hot passing and really a nice high percentage bucket for Humber, and looking dialed in and in sync early in this one.
Lucas Lewis started the year off starting in the starting 5 for the Hawks, but Adrian Aluyi really forced his way in. Lewis didn't get mad about it. He continued to play a role, and he's still playing a massive role for the Humber Hawks.
And how about that solid rebound in the defensive end for Lewis. And Tweed gets the ball popped out, fighting for it here. And just a little bit too out of reach as the quick transition leads to a turnover. That time, Javon Westcarth was just not quite able to get a handle of it. Zach, here's a replay of this great sequence here Globetrotters vibe with just some excellent passing.
He had a great finish with the left hand right there by Lucas Lewis.
Antwi with the feed to Isaiah Brady Clark, and the West Division 6 Man of the Year won't get that shot to fall. Humber will hang on to the rock here with a good chunk of time on the shot clock. 14 seconds to go there.
IBC, just such a good player for the Humber Hawks.
And he'll fire up another one. That one's a little short, rebounded by Algonquin. And then Isaiah Brady Clark, both number 8s from respective teams colliding there. It's going to be Algonquin's Simon Desta who comes out on top there, drawing the whistle. Uh-oh, no change. Coach Miles is upset because he had dialed up a substitution. And it looks like play just continued, and there's the tail end of his protest. Now we'll get that change in, so Isaiah Brady Clark will come on out. J.R. Harewood into the game after all that hubbub.
So not sure if it was a late change or what happened there, but clearly the refs didn't see that Omar Miles wanted the substitution to come in.
At any rate, we have another point there for Humber, so 18-9. And yeah, we're already in bonus territory. As we mentioned, a couple of fouls early on in this one for Algonquin. And we're already seeing the impacts of that. 10-point lead for the Hawks. Antwi scrambling back on defense. Opina with a pass that just has a little too much on it. And that's going to turn the ball over back into the hands of the Hawks. Harewood just checked in. And the first timeout of this game is called by the Wolves. Again, 10-point lead for Humber. And Zach, it's been a pretty frantic start to the game, as you kind of expect to see in a playoff contest, right? So much on the line. And thus far, it's been Humber who have, seen a lot of parallels here between the women's game we just saw. Humber women's basketball really able to establish some great offensive passing, fluidity, applying pressure, keeping their opponent a little bit on their heels, and a lot of those same dynamics at play here.
Yeah, and really, it's just, again, the Humber Hawks that are the ones in control. Defense, they always say it wins you championships, and Humber's defense right now, it's playing very strong, very smart, and that's just something that has to continue as the game goes on.
And timeout is all over now. As we've highlighted, if Humber is able to keep their perfect undefeated season going, they will be able to host the Final Four tournament. Here's Antwi driving to the hoop. It's up and in, but finds a way to somehow not fall. And look, another foul will go against the Wolves here. Are you okay, partner? Looks like you might have gotten something in the eye there.
I don't know. I went blind for a second. I couldn't see out of the left eye.
Is the eyeball back online here?
We're good now, yeah.
It's an important part of a commentator's skill set.
You know when you get like a eyelash in your eye? That's what happened. I think it was. I felt something. I blinked a little bit, and then I couldn't open my eye.
Free throw for the rookie. DJ Burke is good. So Humber now past that 20-point threshold. As Algonquin zipping down, big dunk there. My goodness. And scrambling back after the big bucket was Haven Holder. Wow, big energy play. We'll see if the Wolves can translate that into a little bit of juice, because right now it's been a lot of Humber
This is that dunk. Look at this.
Yeah, it was a great dish and just absolutely taking advantage of the opportunity to, build a little bit of energy from what so far has been momentum in favor of the Hawks early in this one.
It's been momentum, but it's also just been them really picking apart the defense of Algonquin, getting clean looks. No really badly timed shots from the Humber Hawks.
Grant, bounce pass in to Burke, and yet another foul called against the Wolves.
Fouls calling on Waterwoods number 4, C.J. Galazza. Second was the foul in. On the line for Humber number 24, DJ Bird.
Burke hits that one. He's been kind of setting up shop at the free throw line in this first quarter. 22-11. And comes up well short on the second attempt. And we've seen some frustration from the Wolves early in this one as, Zach, you mentioned Humber on the offensive end, really doing a good job of, like you said, picking apart this Wolves team thus far.
And then defensively, they're just not giving them any clean looks, just like that. Great steal.
Yeah, we've seen Algonquin coming into the zone with all kinds of speed, and I think it's left them off balance on many occasions. Burke with the 3 ball, that won't go. And sending it across here, that's going to be hurled up. Grant tries to get the rebound, but it went out of bounds off of Grant, but the officials calling the foul, and my goodness, the fouls per minute rate here for the Wolves is going to get concerning, Zach. And
early on, yeah.
Yeah, like just in 8 minutes and change have gone by. And we'll have to get the official count on how many fouls we've seen, but that's going to allow a lot of those key players for the Wolves just having to head to the bench. Try to lay low before they rack up too many fouls in this one.
Number 4 is already at 3 on the day, and it's not even the first quarter's over yet.
And I'm sure we'll see what kind of impact that has on C.J. Galazza's minutes here as this pivotal do-or-die game goes on. And free throws made, and Humber has been really buttering some bread from the free throw line in this first quarter. 13-point lead for the home team, who are on pace to soar past the century mark in a very productive first quarter. Ball up, grabbed by Malik Grant. Grant at the 3-point line, creating a little bit of space. Now drives to the hoop, loses the handle. And here come the Wolves, fast into the zone. Quick 3, air ball. And handled by Humber. Ndongo. And another bucket, courtesy of Cameron David, and Humber's lead continuing to grow.
Kind of surprised that, the leading scorer for the side of Algonquin, Luke, he's not on the court right now. Getting another guy that early on might be in some foul trouble, but he's their leading scorer for a reason. He's top of the OCAA in scoring. When you look at the numbers, he's second. 19.9 is what he's averaging.
Zach, this Algonquin team, free throws, a big part of their success this year. They're second in the OCAA in free throw attempts per game, second in the OCAA in free throw percentage, but as I say that, missing a free throw there, and really the general trend in this game has been free throws for Humber. And gonna miss again, so uncharacteristic for this Wolves team. Rebounded there by Ndongo. And here come the Hawks. Malik Grant, player of the year, and well-deserved. He has been outstanding. Makes his way to the hoop, and just a nice shot for his 11th point of the match. So Zach, already 11 on the board for number 5.
It's like a teardrop mid-range shot, though. Silky smooth is number 5.
Cameron David leading it up. Coach Omar Miles imploring him to just slow his roll. We got the shot clock turned off here, under 10 seconds to go. Waiting for that perfect window. Grant throws it up. Looks like maybe they got a piece of it. Lewis with the rebound, and a late foul call will send Lucas Lewis to the free throw line.
It was Luke, number 24, with his first one of the match. But again, a player that, you know, we expected to start, looked at it when he came on the court, didn't have any fouls. So kind of curious why he's not on the floor to start the match.
Lewis misses the first one. We got 1.1 second on the clock. And Lewis missing that one, and that will do it for quarter number 1. The Humber Hawks, my goodness, got off to a hot start. 28-11 is the score, and Malik Grant has been doing Malik Grant things. And Zach, over the course of the season, Malik Grant has done a lot, and it's led to some very impressive numbers and a Player of the Year nod.
Yeah, Malik Grant really has been amazing for the Humber Hawks. You see what he's done, averaging 16.2 points per game. The rebound sitting just shy of 7, and then the assist 4.3. Malik Grant has really just done everything you could ask for, because not only is he shooting really well from the field, sitting at just under 50%, 46.8, he's shooting 35 from beyond the arc. So a guy that gets it done inside the paint, gets it done beyond the arc, but also gets it done defensively.
Yeah, and a young man who had 42 points in a contest against Conestoga on January 22nd. So just over a month ago, a career night for Grant, and it's been a career year for Grant in his 4th year of OCAA basketball. And his double-digit point performance in that first quarter, a big reason why the Hawks are up by 17 points after 1.
Yeah, early on, take this in. Free throws made, Malik Grant's 4 of 5. Field goals made, he's 3 of 5. He is draining everything for the side of the Hawks. Humber as a team, they're shooting 40% from the field, 25% from beyond the arc. And they're getting a lot of good output right here. 14 rebounds early on too, and 5 offensive.
Here we go. Second quarter just about to get underway. Yeah, just a tough quarter for Algonquin, and yeah, the fouls was a big part of that whole story.
9 personal fouls in that first quarter.
Yeah, to Humber's 2. And we'll see if the Wolves maybe put an emphasis on cleaning that part of the game up. Humber with the first possession of the quarter, and it's Cameron David going to work up high. Makes his way to the hoop. Nice spin move, but his pass is right into the breadbasket of a couple of ready Wolves defenders. Westcarth heaves it up. Rebounded by Menzies. Long stretch pass to Grant, and he does off the glass for another bucket. Make that 13 points for Malik Grant.
Malik Grant, what a day early on he's having, really showing why he was named OCAA Player of the Year.
So this Humber team undefeated on the season, 18-0 in the regular season. Tack on another win there in the crossover round. A win here today would make it 20 wins and no losses in this season. Nice pass over there to Ndongo, and that's in and out. And a bit of a miscue there as Taj Motiki Stevens just tried to whip that ball over to his teammate, but he caught an Algonquin player up in the face. But as much as Ted Braden appears to be a little worse for wear, he will stay in this game after catching a hand to the face area.
And when you look at Algonquin, they're getting their looks. They're getting some good offensive looks. It's just they haven't been able to capitalize. We just saw a three-pointer moments ago where he got a good look, just offline a little bit. So he's got to clean up some of these opportunities if you're Algonquin.
Isaiah Brady Clark. So already Humber, after only picking up 2 personal fouls in the first quarter, just over a minute into the second, they've already matched that.
Second team foul on Humber. Checking in for Humber Hawks, number 24, DJ Bird for number 8, Isaiah Brady Clark.
So Isaiah Brady Clark will check out, and DJ Burke is in the game. Swung over and picked off by Jalen Menzies, and he's going to make that all day long. Second team All-Star in the West Division, Jalen Menzies.
We saw Kia Watt do that in the women's game earlier, and Menzies shot out of a cannon to get that one.
Oh, great job there. Poked out by Cameron David, and Jalen Menzies is heading to the free throw line as Humber has exploded here into the second quarter, and looks like picking up right where they left off, partner.
Yeah, they're not slowing down whatsoever. During that crossover round too, a lot of the starters here, they got not a lot of minutes in the late stages of the game. Cameron David, to note, he only played 3 minutes in that crossover match.
Jalen Menzies in his final year of collegiate basketball. And what an addition he has been for Humber. He came last season. He was really that guy leading the way in scoring for Humber last year, on way to that provincial championship. This year, Zach, it's been more so Malik Grant leading the way in scoring, but boy, oh boy, what a 1-2 punch in that department between Menzies and Grant.
Yeah, you can never forget about Jalen Menzies, especially for what he did last year. Look at that, almost another one.
And we're just seeing that play routinely, Zach, which is Humber getting steals and just blazing into the Algonquin side on these odd man rushes. That time not able to convert as Menzies just had one toe on the line.
We've seen some really good dynamic duos over the years. Going back to my first year here, we had Daquan Caskart and Kevin O'Toole, a really good 1-2 punch for the Hawks. And you're seeing another one here with Malik Grant and Menzies.
Trying to create some room, and that shot won't go. It was fired off by Opina. And Grant gets it across the timeline. Over to Burke. Here's Antwi on that near side. Menzies loses the grip. Humber will hang on to possession here. Last touch by the Wolves.
Hawks calling a timeout too.
Yeah, so a 20-point lead for Humber. And yeah, like you said, timeout called.
And the conversation on the bench for the Hawks, it would probably sound like this: just keep playing our game. They're playing smart on both sides of the ball. They've had a couple of frantic opportunities around midcourt, but really other than that, it's been a great game all around for Humber. Algonquin, the message, you got to kind of finish some of these offensive looks and, you know, maybe box out a little bit more down low. Malik Grant, he's been having a field day going into the paint and around the mid-range for these jump shots. Got to figure out a way to shut him down.
A little inside look there on the clipboard of the Humber Hawks coaching staff.
Can you break that play down for me?
Okay, now what that was, partner, was
X goes down this line to O, and then O drives inside that way. That's all I got from it.
Just keep on scoring, baby.
A lot of X's and O's, not the. They play the game a little differently than I do.
And timeout is broken, so it's time to get back to action here. We've seen 2.5 minutes tick on by here in this second quarter. Humber ball in the offensive zone. Taj finding some resistance here, makes his way into the paint and puts it up for the nice bucket.
Taj Motuki-Stevens, not a bad option to have as a second or third big man. Really, the big man group for the Humber Hawks is so deep this year. You have Motuki-Stevens, you have Adrian Aluyi, you also have Lucas Lewis.
Getting swarmed right now defensively, but Algonquin able to create some space, and to the hoop, and Burke with the big block. And other way, Antwi finding a way to slice through off the glass, and my goodness, Humber all fired up right now. That bench is electric.
Credit Dwayne Burke right there. My Lord, what a block that was.
Stolen away by Menzies. We've seen that a few times, and gonna get the finish there as Jalen Menzies now with 8 points this afternoon. And a timeout called by Algonquin as Humber with an avalanche of plays in both sides of the court, allowing them to extend their lead now to 26, and some replays coming up. How about that, partner? Just the last kind of straw that broke the camel's back that caused the Wolves to call the timeout.
Just Humber's going so fast right now, and it's been hard for the Wolves to keep up that pace.
And it was a Wolves effort that really was quite a decisive win in the crossover round. They took on the Niagara Knights and beat Niagara pretty decisively. 93-69 was the final there. But here today, my goodness, Zach, we've seen both the Humber women's and men's team just come into this quarterfinal round with all kinds of energy, and you know, it's not like we've had to wait for the effort to get going. It's been right out of the chute. And here we are with a 39-13 ball game here with 6.5 minutes to go in this first half.
So, partner, not only is it quarterfinals day for basketball, but it's also gold medal day for Humber's men's volleyball team. And currently, they're in set number 1. Humber's men's team is up 23-22 on the Cambrian Shield. We'll keep you updated through that one.
Yeah, the Humber Hawks women's volleyball team able to win gold earlier this weekend. And now the fellas looking to do the same. As on the basketball side, there's another weekend yet to decide who takes home the gold, silver, and bronze hardware. But Zach, what a season it's been for Humber basketball and volleyball. Both men's and women's teams, both sports have just been absolutely dominant and looking to finish things off the way you'd hope, right? With the gold hardware to show for it.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong on the records though, Humber's men's team for basketball goes 18-0. Women's volleyball goes 18-0. Humber women's basketball goes 16-2. And as Taj Motuki-Stevens just puts that one back. But to finish my point, the men's volleyball, I believe they also went 16-2. So what a year it was.
A bit of symmetry there.
Exactly. And they flip-flopped a little bit.
Between our very much beloved indoor gymnasium sports, Zach, you know, we love ourselves some soccer, baseball, and softball. But, you know, the outdoor environment can get a little unpredictable come October. And I think we appreciate the climate-controlled environment of the volleyball and basketball games. But that's a story for another day. Big bucket there. That one was hanging on the rim. Humber now at 42 here. 1 3-pointer away from a 30-point lead. Rebounded by the Wolves. It's going to be a foul against Kwabena Antwi. Well-positioned effort there by Albert Opena.
Foul to Humber Hawks number 12. Kwabena Antwi. First, also foul on him. 13 foul for Humber.
And so it'll be the inbounds play coming up here. 14 on the shot clock. Coach Miles laying out some orders. Make sure his team's all dialed in here. David playing the defense, gets the hand there. No foul will call. The Wolves want one. And David's able to snag the ball, bring it back. Wide open look for Malik Grant, and he absolutely drills it.
I'm sure we'll get another look at that block. But you said it best. What a look right there by Malik Grant.
Let's take one more look. It was Desta who hit the deck in the other side of the court. So this is basically a 5-on-4 as they were one man down. And Humber with that three-pointer I was alluding to, making it a 30-point lead.
That was a big-time shot, too.
Desta able to get the good bounce there. And second one won't go, but it's going to work out in favor of the Wolves, who get the possession here with a nice offensive rebound. Desta doing everything he can, and it's good as he shows the heart, and he's fired up. And I think he might have just received a technical. And that's the last thing you want to see after a nice individual effort, is to just basically undo it with some verbiage after he made the bucket. So there's, you kind of got a sense there, yelling maybe at the direction of the Humber Hawk defenders, Zach. Maybe that's what did it.
And we saw it earlier in the women's game as well. It's just the extra yell after it. That's what's going to get you sometimes. And obviously we don't hear what they say. And we're going to assume it's always PG, family friendly.
It's also to the direction. You see players sometimes, if they can just direct their, you know, verbal outburst, not necessarily directly at an opposing player, they can sometimes get away with it, right? But good job there by Desta defensively on Cameron David. Thrown over there to Menzies, who just puts it a little too high and takes credit for that miscue, as he just really didn't give Ndongo much of a chance there.
Partner, what a first set this has been in for the Humber game.
A little closer than this
Cambrian. Wow.
Yeah, this men's volleyball championship in the OCAA, 27-27 in the first set. So got all the trappings of an absolute barn burner in that one. But over here, Zach, we've got the Wolves getting set to take a free throw, and we've got a timeout call. So a couple minutes left here in this first half, but so far it has been the Humber Hawks absolutely firing on all syllables.
Firing on all cylinders is just an understatement when you talk about what they've been able to do early on. 4:13 left to go and 46 points. They're basically going 10 points at a time. And I think we catch some Humber softball coaches watching in the background. There's a lot of eyes.
President looks like she's got the stream going too.
Not only are we watching this one go down, but we're watching the men's volleyball team trying to win gold here, as Kay Blackmore just got a nice little kill.
Yeah, you did see Dr. Anne-Marie Vaughn there for the Humber's president, college president, keeping an eye on, I believe it's Polytechnic, partner. I'm still getting used to this name rebrand for Humber. I don't know if you remembered that.
I remember, but it slips my mind from time to time.
Well, here we go. We got some free throws coming up. And first one is good from Opena. And the second one is good. That'll help cut the lead down to 26. Humber's offense has just been absolutely dynamic here, and it's going to really be incumbent on these Wolves to try to slow things down, but that's going to be a step in the right direction. Turned over. Kind of feel the energy a little low in this game right now, and two more free throws. This could be a chance for Algonquin to kind of change the tide here.
Well, partner, obviously we're watching this game unfold here. The Humber Hawks men's volleyball team just took a grueler of a set number one, winning it 31-29. Absolute grueler over there in Cambrian.
Another free throw coming up. I think that this is a chance here for Chris LaChapelle and the rest of the Wolves to really exploit a window of opportunity and maybe try to get a little momentum, try to close this gap a little bit, because it looks like they do have that chance. There have been some plays going the way of Algonquin. As Kwabena Antwi up top, being guarded tightly. Antwi heaves it over to DJ Burke. Burke moves in, gets the finish. Just a strong play from the rookie.
DJ Burke, so strong going down low.
And Burke hits the deck, and that looked like a painful fall there, but Burke not phased. He falls down again, poking it up to Romeo. And Burke now kicks it over to Antwi. 3 minutes to go here in this first half. Humber up by 26 now. Antwi tries charging in, loses the handle, kicks it off to Victor Ndongo, and not gonna fall. So Humber's offense certainly is taking a little step back here.
Offense is taking a step back, but the defense has stepped up.
Yeah, Romeo tried clinging onto that ball as it was flying by. Out of bounds, it still's gonna be with Algonquin. Fired up, and that's gonna be 3 free throws coming up here for Simon Desta. Desta, the 6th man of the year in the East Division, a 5th-year player, and he's had some strong play here in this first half.
During one of the timeouts, we saw him on the bench. He was talking to his coach saying, put me in, let me help get this team fired back up, and it's exactly what Desta has done.
And he's got 11 points to show for it. He could come away with 12 because, yeah, that was a 3-pointer that he was fouled on. And makes good on all 3. Checking into the game for Algonquin is Teslock Luke. Here we go. 23 points is the lead for Humber. Looking to add to it with 2.5 minutes to go. Handed off by Aluyi to J.R. Harewood. Aluyi trying to get it back, but he's being guarded tightly. Foul call will result, though. Officials saying that Devontae Brooks came on a little too strong.
So, partner, 2:19 left to go here in the first half, and we're going to have a very interesting conversation with head coach Omar Miles during the half. You'll get to pick his brain a little bit on where the Hawks are and how they're playing early on in this game.
Sideline reporter Will Shukri will be there with Coach Miles at halftime to get the scoop on how he's feeling after what's been thus far a very convincing first half performance. With that said, Zach, the lead was as much as 30, down to 23 now. And Aluyi trying to reestablish that big lead as Grant now, 3-pointer, not gonna go. And 2 minutes remain here. That pass was handled and a good finish. So some steps forward for this Algonquin team. And as much as Humber's defense is a big focus, and that defense for Humber has been playing well, Algonquin able to Gets some solid plays building here. Now Louis, how's that for a solid play? Gets the rebound, gets the finish.
That's why Adrian Louis was inserted into the starting five. Just his ability to finish at the rim, but also just pull down tough rebounds.
Nice block there on the defensive end. We've seen him do that. Louis is no stranger to the occasional slam dunk and a big block in the defensive end. And that pass a little high, but handled nicely. Off the glass, won't fall. Quick transition here, look out. Antwi to a Louis, and he's fouled. That's gonna be number 21, Chris LaChapelle. Picking up his second foul.
So apologies, partner. We're actually having an interview with Coach Carlos and not head coach Omar Miles. But either way, eager to pick the brains of the coaching staff to see the insight of how Humber has played early on in this first half.
And not going to make the first one. Mentioned Aluyi's outstanding field goal percentage on the season. Third in the OCAA at 61%. Makes his second one as Aluyi on the year. His free throw percentage is 58%, 58% that is, so. Less than a minute to go here. Nice job there by Antwi, getting a piece of it. It will remain Algonquin ball with 11 seconds on the shot clock.
11 on the shot clock, 43.7 on the game clock. Okay, good inbound here.
Long three. A little too strong, but a good job there to finish things up by LaChapelle.
So the shot clock will still be on. Difference is about 6 seconds.
Sent in to Antwi, and he's going to put that right to LaChapelle. Stolen right back by Jalen Menzies. And stolen right back there. It's going back and forth as Desta was able to pick that one off. Three-pointer is good with only a few seconds left. And Grant, no time left to heave one up. So as we head into the first half break here, we will see things really shaping up in favor of the Wolves here. They are now only down by 19, partner. So able to take an 11-point bite out of what was a 30-point lead. And interested to see what we get in terms of the scoop with our sideline reporter, Will Shukri. But Zach, at any rate, it's been an interesting first half where Humber has really set the tone of dominance from the early get-go.
Yeah, they set the tone early on, and then they kind of took their foot off the gas, but then they tried to reapply it. But either way, Algonquin, they've stepped up.
Saw that score there, very lopsided in favor of Humber, but as I mentioned, some positive steps for Algonquin. We'll see maybe if they can carry that momentum into the second half and maybe give us a bit of a different look. But as for right now, it's been a solid looking outing for the Hawks as we have that coaching staff there. You can see they're kind of just having their huddle. Well, we got the shoot for cash going on here, partner. It's one of the rare times we get to actually narrate the shoot for cash. This young fella hits the free throw. So now, if this young man can hit a three-pointer and then a half-court shot, he will win $1,000.
Gotta get the legs into it, young man. Come on.
You know, it's a tough look. This is gonna take everything he's got. And he puts up the three, and it's off the rim, Zach. So the $1,000 will not have to come out of the pocket of Howie the Hawk today.
Good attempt, though. He adjusted, just need a little bit more power under the shot. That's okay, though.
And there's a look at our Hawks Nation leadership there. Is another great part of coming to these Humber Hawks games, Zach, and that's going to be a big factor when Humber looks to be hosting the Final Four. If they can get the win here today, it should be quite the atmosphere here at the Humber Polytechnic North Campus gym.
Yeah, it's going to be electric, to say the least. Oh, is Howie Hawk going to go for a layup? Aw, come on, Howie. Got excited. One more time, Howie. One more time. There we go. Howie Hawk, ladies and gentlemen, getting the basket. Something you love to see.
And we're almost ready for that coaching interview. It's moments away. Our sideline reporter, Will Shukri, is doing a bang-up job, and he's going to get the inside scoop, and that is just moments away. We can get right into it here. Will Shukri, take it away, partner.
Thank you very much, guys. Coach, strong first half there. This is the first time you've seen Algonquin this season. How did the strategy change compared to the last game against La Cité?
They just play a different style of basketball. La Cité plays a lot of zone, and they're not as athletic, and they don't shoot it as well as Algonquin, so just a different game plan altogether.
And obviously a dominant first half for Humber, leading 51-32 right now. What's the message in the locker room going into the second half?
I think we just got to keep up the pace. We got to do a better job defensively, try not to foul at the rim. We just got to get our feet set and make shots.
Thank you very much, Coach. It's going to be all for us. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Back to you. Wise words from the assistant coach of the Humber Hawks.
to the Hawks Nest is where we are at for this OCAA men's quarterfinal. And after a lead as big as 30 for the Humber Hawks, the Wolves have drawn it back down to a 19-point ball game. My name is Matt Hamill, alongside my broadcast partner, Zach Benoit. Sideline reporter Will Shukri is able to get the scoop, and the Humber coaching staff, you know, it seems like defense a big focus. And, you know, Zach, as they head into a second half of a do-or-die game, win or go home with a pretty big lead, you know, sometimes that can be working against you in some ways where you take your foot off the gas pedal. Well, I guess we'll see how the Hawks respond here as the Wolves had some momentum late in that first half.
Yeah, and we listened to the coach, and what he said was, got to clean up the defense on the inside. And I think that's the main message, you know. Around the Humber Hawks, that's always been their message, is just clean defense, clean looks. And if they just continue to play smart basketball, clean defense, it just comes naturally.
So the Wolves with the first possession of the half, working it down low, and turnaround shot good for Ted Braden. Antui with it for Humber. Quabena streaming in, kicks it out to Cameron David. Now wide open, Malik Grant, and the three ball a little too short. And so a foul goes against number 6 for the Wolves. And that's Jensen Balmaceda. Balmaceda, a third-year player by way of Vancouver. Again, charged with a foul there. So Grant with it, kicks it out to Jalen Menzies, and his three ball is gonna, just like Grant's, fall a little short. Down low here, and another solid play by Braden.
Love the hook shot. Underneath, give it a little hook, and it drops in nicely.
Back to back, and now this Wolves deficit is down to 15. So Zach, a much more manageable deficit to work from compared to the 30-point margin that Humber had earlier in that first half. And boy, oh boy, the Wolves look like they ate their Wheaties at halftime as they come back out once again with another bucket. This time, it's going to be Teslock Luke.
And I think the scary thing is that the Algonquin Wolves came through with a lot of momentum coming out of halftime. There you go. It's a big basket by Menzies to kind of shut down some of their momentum. But they were building. They were slowly building. Humber was slowly falling as we got towards halftime. And coming out of the break, it's been the Wolves striking.
That time Menzies able to poke the ball away from Braden, and Humber in transition here. So they stuff the Wolves. David sees a whole lot of nothing, so he kicks it out to Grant, and he's gonna make good on that one. Grant had a three-pointer attempt earlier in this quarter, was no good. Dialed in the necessary adjustment. And so here comes David. A 18-point lead is back in full effect for Humber. How about that pass from Grant? Just zips it into Menzies. He will hit the hardwood, and so it's going to be a foul call against the Wolves, and 2 shots coming up for Jalen.
Fouls for Algonquin's number 7, Algonquin. First was a foul for him. Second team foul for Algonquin. On the line, Humber number 23, Jalen Menzies. 32.
Menzies with double-digit points here today. He's got 11. Malik Grant with a game-high 19 points. And the second one, good. Here come the Wolves. They are now back down by 20 and looking to avoid a situation where they get put down back into a deep hole. Good defensive effort by Humber. My goodness, the circus show is in town. finally a team is able to secure it. That was quite a sequence.
Yeah, somehow the magnetic hands of Jalen Menzies are able to get the ball back for the Hawks.
Restore order to what was a pretty hectic couple of passes there. Lucas Lewis with the ball up top, hands it off to Menzies. And just like that, it's off the glass, but no good. Pull up three. No good in the hands of Grant. Here comes David, taking it down the court. David being guarded by Opena. You see Malik directing traffic there. Lewis sets the screen as Grant makes his way to the hoop. My goodness! Finished off by Lucas Lewis. That was nasty.
That's a beautiful look with the trailing Lewis, because look at this, you get a catch on the replay. Lewis picks it up immediately that Grant goes up, he trails it beautifully, and he finishes off the play.
I mean, I thought if Grant was gonna get the finish there, it would have been a very pretty looking touch there off the glass, but just a little too strong. But Lucas Lewis says, no problem, dude. Came in with an absolutely massive finish. So that's going to give Humber even more energy here as they've been playing strong. Like we mentioned, Zach, for the Wolves, they were able to cut into Humber's lead a little bit. And then at the beginning of the third quarter, the Wolves kind of continued with some of their momentum. But I don't know. I think Humber has slammed the door, perhaps. And now back up to a 22-point lead. Long three there from David. And rebounded nicely by Desta, who was all alone. Good defense by Antwi. Luke marching in. Rebounded on the offensive end. Desta heaves it up. Humber wants a foul call. I think there should have been one there against Antwi. And the shot from the inside will be good for two. So 20-point lead is where we're at. Opena with the finish there. So Antwi took a hard spill on that last defensive stand, and here he is in the offensive zone. Three-pointer for Antwi, and that's rebounded again by Desta. And taken away by Antwi, who puts it just a little too far out of reach. But once again, a good save by Menzies, and there's the finish by Antwi.
Menzies looking like a shortstop, making an off-balance throw across the diamond right there. But it was a beautiful on-target pass to Kwabena Antwi.
You know, as a baseball guy, it figures you would draw that comparison, but actually, I think you nailed it right on the head there, partner. That was very much that kind of baseball play by Menzies, and on the other end now, nice response with that three-pointer from the Wolves.
Now, if you're Humber, yes, the Wolves are scoring, but you also got to continue this offensive pressure.
Menzies not going to draw the foul that time.
He tried to.
And we have a nice offensive rebound, and just Braden continuing his third quarter dominance down low. It was Lewis defending for Humber, but that time number 9 with yet another bucket here. 6'7" forward in his 5th year, but here's a look at this great play as Menzies saved it, and Antwi finished it off.
Partner, over in the gold medal match for men's volleyball, Cambrian Shield have equalized things up, 1 set apiece.
Shooting, number 9, 10, rating.
Yeah, and a couple of Humber Hawks fans in the gym, or maybe more than a couple, are also multitasking right now, watching both this playoff matchup here, this great quarterfinal, and the gold medal men's volleyball game happening elsewhere. Grant's got to put it in. He finds David. And Cameron David gets it across half. Finds Taj Motiki Stevens, who's got some space to work with. Brady Clark gets a nice bounce off the rim. And that long shot, another offensive rebound. That's been a big strength here for Algonquin in this third quarter. And another shot there. That one's kind of bricked into the corner of the rim, but second chance here. Grant, a little too short. And rebounding for Algonquin has certainly been an edge here in both the offensive and defensive ends. Grant playing defense, the three-pointer sent long. Cameron David is on the court, gets hit with the basketball, a little insult to injury there. Good to see him spring back up fairly quickly. So the foul goes against CJ Galaza.
Team foul number 4 for Algonquin.
Humber now leading by 18. So Zach, you know, you can really get a sense of this Algonquin's ability, this team's ability to close the distance.
So, partner, I think we have a jersey change. Lucas Lewis, who wears number 20, he's switching jerseys, number 15 now. And usually that happens if, you know, anything gets on the jersey that they deem unable to still be worn.
Biohazard.
Biohazard.
Okay, we'll see if that young fella checks back into the game, but here's Grant, zips it across court to that near side for Antwi. Antwi, too many steps. Less than 3 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Less than 3, but Humber's still holding this lead, playing a very strong game here in this one.
Picked right off there by Burke, tripped up, and montage Motiki Stevens. He was heading to the rim with some malicious intent. Not able to get the finish there thanks to some heads-up defending by the Wolves. And that hits Brady Clark, and this game just trying to get settled in here a little bit. Grant being guarded by Simon Desta. Grant, great feed down to Antwi, and all day long, what a dish. Just really showing off some of that versatility for Malik Grant.
Less than 2 minutes to play in the third quarter.
To the hoop, DJ Burke once again all over it. And now he's gonna slow things down as Humber gets set up here, up by 20 points. Grant feels the pressure, makes a great pass, and wide open all day long for Isaiah Brady Clark.
Sixth man of the year on the side of the Humber Hawks, showing why he got those awards.
Well, it's interesting that we have both the West Division Sixth Man of the Year and Isaiah Brady Clark squaring off against Algonquin Simon Desta, the East Division Sixth Man of the Year. Big three ball there by Luke, bringing his team back within 19. Less than a minute to go in this third quarter. Which team can finish off with a little punctuation mark? Carry over some of that juice into the fourth and potentially final quarter. Antwi, not a lot of time left on the shot clock. Got to put it up. Burke just at the buzzer. Won't get it to fall. Desta being guarded by Grant. Big block there. Grant now sets it up, looking for that alley-oop to Taj. And that could have been a monster play, but just good spacing there by the Wolves defenders to prevent that from happening.
24 left to go here in the third. Again, Wolves and Hawks are just kind of going basket for basket right now. Algonquin, if you want to come back into this one, you got to get some big stops. But the Humber Hawks, just keep playing your game, really. It's been sound solid. The message has been clear defense, and they've picked it up very, very well here in the second half.
Looking to put it back to a 20-point difference, and we'll do just that. As Taj gets his 6th point of the afternoon. A win for Humber here today would bring the OCAA Final Four tournament right here to Humber next weekend.
I feel that's in the back of the minds of players. We know how good they are playing at home. We know how much they feed off their home crowd. And when they're playing for medals, playing for a spot to get back to nationals, well, they're going to be playing extra hard here when they're playing at home. We saw the Nationals hosted here a couple of years ago, and
how'd that turn out?
It was a great one. They ended up winning. Believe it or not, that was the first year head coach Omar Miles was the head coach.
Yes, sir. Burke is blown up, and the offensive foul. So Burke is really laying his body on the line here today.
6.1 left to go here in this quarter.
On the line, shooting 2, number 24, DJ Burke.
So Humber's number 24, DJ Burke with the free throw. It's good, and as you mentioned, Zach, only 6.1 seconds left here. So if Burke is able to convert the second free throw, that gives Algonquin just enough time to heave up a prayer. Maybe try to get it in the zone real quick for a closer shot. Let's see. Time winding down here. Got to get it off, and it's going to be the defensive closeout. No quality chance able to get fired off there.
Yeah, Taj Motiki-Stevens shutting things down to the score after 3, 71-49. Humber, they are 1 quarter away from a Final Four berth, trying to get back there where they've been ever so dominant.
Well, we've talked a lot about Humber's star player Malik Grant on the other side for this Algonquin team. You know, they've got their fair share of star players, but none shines brighter than number 24, Teslock Luke. He averages 19.9 points per game, and partner, that is good enough for second in the OCAA in points per game scoring. And you know, so far today, Zach, he's got 10. But ultimately, I think it's going to be a lot of weight on his shoulders to try and turn things around. But only 1 quarter left. Time really not on the side of Algonquin as they have 22 points standing between them and a tie ball game.
Well, I'm looking at some numbers here, partner. And Humber, again, they outscored Algonquin. But the biggest takeaway was that first quarter and the discrepancy there. 28 points scored by the Hawks, 11 for Algonquin, and that's kind of where Humber has been. They've been winning the corners very closely ever since then, but it's that first quarter right there. That's the discrepancy right now.
Yeah, so Humber going into halftime with such a sizable lead. It was 51-32, so 19-point difference. And, you know, you would think, boy, oh boy, if the Wolves can find a way to turn this around, they got to come out in the third and at least win the quarter. And while the Wolves started strong in the third, it just was Humber able to once again win the quarter. The third frame, it was 20-17 in favor of the Hawks. So a tall order in front of the Algonquin men's basketball team, and Humber will start out with the first possession. And you can imagine they just want to sort of put the exclamation mark here and Zach, got any updates on the men's volleyball championship?
Humber currently up 8-5. It looks like a player for the Golden Shield did go down with an injury, though, so they're on a current timeout right now, checking him out.
Isaiah Brady Clark with the 3-ball.
IBC, man. Sixth man of the year, showing why he was so good all year long.
All kinds of hands for Humber defensively. But Algonquin will get the finish. They earned that one, Zach. Nothing easy about that bucket by Luke. Luke now with 12 points on the night. See Grant out here to start the fourth quarter. Kicks it over to Isaiah Brady Clark. And that time, maybe one too many passes. We'll pause in the action here. Foul against Taj Motiki-Stevens.
A couple players on Algonquin were just trying to voice their frustrations. But
a little airing of grievances.
At the end of the day, just continue on play.
Looks like Burke is going to pick up another foul there.
Foul scoring Humber Hawks number 24, DJ Burke. First was a foul for him. Second team foul.
I say another. It's actually his first foul of the game. I just thought, you know, a guy like Burke who's been just throwing the body around, but he's been doing so in up until now a very clean fashion. Play at the hoop. Uh-oh, looks like Malik Grant tweaked something there. I hate to see that. It looks like Grant moving just fine. Grant calling for it up top. Flings it over to Burke, who just gets the finish. You don't see a shot like that every day.
Yes, sir!
Those are the fun ones you see. He goes up, and that was the mega hook shot.
Yeah, it was a lot of oomph off the backboard, and it was good enough for Burke's 11 points of the night. And nice response with the 3-ball, rattled off by number 25, Javon Westcarth.
This lead has been sticking at 20. If Algonquin want to come back, they got to start digging into it more and quickly here.
Menzies looking to respond. That one was close, but not going to fall. Behind the back pass is absolutely robbed by Taj Motiki-Stevens. And then Menzies doing what he does best. Fast break finish off the glass.
One of these days, I want to see Menzies go up for the dunk. He has all these fast breaks, and it's always the soft touch layup, which is fine. Get a little bit explosive one time, young man. You've earned it.
Desta's shot no good. Looks like a foul maybe on Taj. Here's Jalen Menzies' finish. As we mentioned, that's kind of his bread and butter. Quick whistle on that play.
So we'll have another inbound play as Grant gets called for the foul.
Menzies playing defense. Sent in there to Brooks, and he'll drain it.
Still sitting 20 points. They're just going basket for basket here.
And that's state of affairs. Humber will be quite all right with Lewis in the freshly minted number 15 jersey you see there. Again, not sure how he got his previous jersey deemed unplayable, but as we see from time to time, players maybe catch a shot and The nosebleed, you know, that's enough to make that jersey no bueno for the rest of the night.
Could be a rip in the jersey as well. You never know.
Could be the rip. Good point. Laza, 2 free throws. First one is good.
Three free throws coming away.
Yeah, that makes sense. Pardon me.
Well, must have just been 2 and then the ball possession.
Yeah, I guess Lewis deemed being a little too aggressive on that play, getting a little extra than your standard issue foul. So down to 18 now, and with 7 minutes to go in the quarter, a timeout call.
The Wolves, they've broken it down now to 18, but with Humber possession, you need to let them stop. You got to get a stop from the Hawks, and really it's just something that hasn't been happening here. As every time that the Wolves strike Humber, they answer right back with either a 3-pointer or they go to the line, they'll equalize with 2. So where we're at right now, the Hawks, they're comfortable. You got to make them uncomfortable if you're the Wolves.
So there's certainly some firepower on the Wolves to help lead the charge, but 7 minutes and an 18-point deficit is no easy task. And for Algonquin, I mean, they have a player in Luke, Teslock Luke, who's half a point away from leading the province in the points per game average. Luke with 19.9 points per game, second place in the province, just behind Mars Buckley of Centennial, who had 20.4 per game. And so if certainly there's someone who can lead the way for Algonquin in this fourth quarter, it would be number 24.
Couldn't have said it better myself, partner. Couldn't have said it better myself. But it all starts with stops, and that's how you get back in this game. You stop Humber. You got to make them uncomfortable in their own home, which is a tough thing to do.
Oh, Alou, you can't quite get the finish. That's an interesting sequence there, little ballet to just try to not collapse onto our photographer.
Diego.
Yeah, this is very valuable photographer.
Not only is his equipment very valuable, but Diego, very valuable soul.
Ain't that the truth?
I heard he would have gone pro in football if he didn't have a knee injury.
Yeah, I heard he's pretty good on that
Pretty
offensive
nimble.
line.
Pretty nimble.
Aluyi could bring the lead back to the familiar 20-point threshold, and that is exactly what he'll do. 60 to 80. Favor of the Hawks. Good, almost finish. I was ready for that one to drop, partner, just because Ted Braden has been consistently knocking those down here in the second half. But at any rate, it's Algonquin keeping possession, getting absolutely swarmed, and there you have it, stolen away by Menzies, and he will be fouled as Menzies is doing the Clark Kent run into the phone booth.
Menzies runs into the HSN headquarters, basically, over there.
Yeah, got a lot of equipment in there.
I don't know if you noticed it again, but Malik Grant ran over to our photographer Diego again, stopped above him, smiled, and took the basketball away.
So a little bit of chit-chat going on here, as looks like maybe fouling out of the game is going to be number 4 for this Algonquin team, CJ Galaza. And if the score remains kind of in this lopsided fashion, could be his final play of the season. Antwi charging in. He's gonna make that. Up top, Menzies with yet another steal. My goodness.
How many on the night is that?
And Menzies, how about that? Looking for the finish. Won't get it. Looking for another steal. Nearly gets one of those. And Braden with a good finish.
5:34 left to go in this one.
Humber calling the timeout. Our HSN replay, and this has been a big story in the second half. Has been number 9, Ted Braden, using that 6'7" frame and his 5 years of OCAA experience to really play a big part in this Algonquin effort. However, they just have not been able to turn the tide as the Hawks have a big lead, and it's just kind of stayed that way. Now, there was a time in the game where Algonquin did have the lead at 6 minutes into the first quarter. Algonquin had a 2-point lead, but beyond that, it's been all Humber Hawks. Humber leading by as much as 30 at one point.
Yeah, and it's been really, really good all game long from the Hawks. This fourth quarter has just been them answering back every single punch that Algonquin throws. And it should be a good one. Humber looking like they're going to be hosting the Final Four here at the Hawks Nest next weekend, which is going to be an electric atmosphere.
Menzies bounces it over to Antwi. Antwi looking for some space, finds a wide open Menzies, but doesn't get the finish, and you can see he's frustrated because that just does not happen. So another foul on Brooks. So it's still 20 points the difference in this ball game, and Humber is looking for this game to just continue as it has been at this point. Zach, if they're just going to trade blows, and if this quarter ends up, you know, as much as we've highlighted Humber winning every quarter, you know, even if they, hey, seems like they can afford maybe not to here, but, you know, thus far it looks like Humber is continuing to keep that foot on the gas pedal here as this game slowly meanders its way into the final few minutes.
Yeah, final 5 to be more specific.
Teslock Luke, deep 3.
And they've shut down Teslock Luke, guy that was averaging almost 20 a game, sitting at 12.
And look at the foul trouble. I mean, we mentioned early in the first quarter just the amount of fouls that were being accrued by this Algonquin team, and there's 3 players on the court right now for Algonquin with 4 fouls, partner. And we've already seen at least 1 player foul out.
Well, early on it was 9 fouls in that first quarter by this Algonquin Wolves team. Not the start they wanted, and it really showed in the score because you saw how many players had to sit out. 21 fouls as a team entering this fourth quarter.
Another bucket there for Humber, 4-3.
Ooh, Antwi going up. Nice little hop, setting number 12.
Deep three ball, my goodness. That's going to be rebounded by Aluyi. Under 4 minutes to go now. With Humber knocking on the door of that 30-point lead once again. Like we highlighted, 30 points was the biggest lead of the game for Humber. A bucket here would even top that. And there it is. Malik Grant doing his thing, and excited to see if number 5 continues his excellent campaign into the Final Four round. All signs point to yes.
DJ Burke almost had a big-time block, but going to the line will be number 9.
Nice replay look there of Grant, and that is just the look of confidence. Number 5, we mentioned his 42-point performance in the late January game against Conestoga.
And again, remember, we got a post-game interview coming up at the end of this one with the player of the game from the Humber Hawks.
Antwi streaking in. Humber able to keep the handle on it. 10 seconds on the shot clock. David dancing around and not going to get that one. Quickly poked away by Aluyi, and he's fouled. I think Coach Miles thought Adrian was getting into some trouble over there, but Aluyi looked like maybe a little frustrated initially, but then went to help up the opponent.
He looked at his coach, I'm just helping him up.
And then Coach Miles said, all right. And a lot of those starters for Humber checking out David, Antwi, Menzies, and Malik Grant. Looks like their night is done with under 3 minutes to go. Louis still in for the time being.
It's so quiet in here. You can hear a pin drop.
You're right, partner.
Very rare moments. very rare moments.
I doubt that the atmosphere will have any chance to quiet down like this next weekend, when we expect Humber to be hosting the Final Fours here on Saturday and Sunday.
Out of bounds, it's Algonquin's ball. 14 seconds on the shot.
Normally, the atmosphere here, it gets loud and proud when the Hawks are in the playoffs. We saw that yesterday with the women's volleyball. And partner, I've covered almost every single game for them this year, and that might have been the most electric atmosphere I've been a part of all year long for volleyball action. And we've already seen how loud the crowds get for the basketball. We saw it against Sheridan. We saw it against St. Clair earlier on in the year. Tons of school spirit going around.
Humber knocking on the door of the century mark. 26-point lead. No, that's shaky math. 34-point lead.
I leave the math up to you. I struggle with
that could be a dangerous prerogative there, partner, based on some of my track record on the broadcast. And substitution coming in as Aluyi may be done for the night. And Taj Motiki Stevens comes into the game.
Most likely our last update for the volleyball game going on. Humber just captured set number 3. They go up 2-1 in that OCAA gold medal match for men's volleyball. And if you can, I highly suggest you turn on that stream at the conclusion of this one, obviously, to watch that 4th set, possibly the last set for the Humber Hawks men's team to win gold.
just out of reach. And Humber denied that chance to start inching towards 100 for now. And another out of bounds play. Going to be some free throws coming up here for Algonquin.
Humber 4 points away from crossing that mark, like you said, and I think there's a stat somewhere out there where their record, when they score 100 or more, it's an absurd one.
How often that results in a win?
I believe that's the quotation of it. I can't remember what the record sits at though. But
yeah, sorry, partner. Under 2 minutes to go. I'm just keeping an eye on that clock, as you know, it doesn't exactly feel like the roar is in the gym to facilitate a comeback. A 32-point difference here. Sort of eerily quiet right now, Brian. I'm getting uncomfortable. Oh, big move there by Ndongo.
It's been a long weekend here. A lot of people have been in the gym since Friday. That's when action started here. And it's just the tail end of it. Everybody, you know, not tired, not done yet. It's just fizzling out slowly with everything that's gone on.
Well, we've got a whole work week to try to recover, as it might get a little hectic in this gymnasium next Saturday and Sunday. So here come the Hawks. Desjardins able to get the play going. Now it's up top. Romeo in the hands of Romeo Osas Joshua. And he'll take his patented three-pointer. That was kind of in and out. Off the glass, no good.
Into the closing stages, just 1:15 left to play.
And a good result for both Humber basketball teams here today. We have the Humber Hawks women's team with a decisive victory in their contest. They took on the Loyalist Lancers. And for Humber, that win against the Lancers on the women's side of things earned their ticket to the Final Four round. Of course, they will not be hosting. It is the East Division who has the hosting duties.
It'll be the Algonquin Wolves for the women's team that's hosting.
So yes, while the Humber women's team's heading up to the nation's capital, it'll be the fellas
that are hosting it here.
Yeah, down in the Hawks Nest. And right to the end, you see the fight from the Algonquin Wolves. Timeout is over, and we have a minute and change left to go. And Zach, of course, will have our player of the game interview with our sideline reporter, Will Shukri talking to whoever on the Humber Hawks gets that nod as player of the game. Zach, do you have a favorite? As we get a nice finish there from Victor Ndongo.
I mean, Malik Grant's probably the leading candidate. Jalen Menzies really turned it on late. He had 6 steals coming into the quarter. I think he probably had 3 more. But
yeah, partner, you know,
gonna be tough.
I did really use my Nostradamus-like abilities to predict the player of the game in the women's contest. That was Marley Bonnick. And I'm going to maybe try to look into my crystal ball right now, and I'm seeing number 24, Dwayne DJ Burke, as the player of the game. Again, this is just my best attempt at foretelling the future, so we'll see if it comes to fruition. Only time will tell, partner.
Ain't no way.
On a match, Humber's ball.
Just waiting, 17.4. Trying to see that massively oversized ticket somewhere here in the gym that says somewhere Ontario, because again, you never know who's going to host until it's all set in stone. So it's somewhere in Ontario.
Yes, Humber with the novelty size ticket to the Final Four that the Hawks will be looking to hoist in just 7.6 seconds.
Ball goes out of bounds. Humber still with the possession. 3.1 on the shot clock.
And a shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation. Algonquin with the ball.
Scores table is getting some input, adding a little bit more time on the clock. And this game goes out with a whimper. That will do it. Final score 98-67, a 31-point win for Humber as they will host the OCAA Final Four tournament right here from the Hawks next weekend. What a state of affairs for the #1 team in the nation. The also undefeated Humber Hawks looking to make this season perfection and take it all the way to the end, partner.
What a finale. Humber, they are going back to the Final Four. They're going to try and punch their ticket to nationals. This team, what a job done really all year long. Continue to display dominance, continue to display teamwork, grit, passion, all of the above. Here's the player of the game.
Zach, is it too late to change my answer to Malik Grant? Player of the game just announced is indeed number 5, Malik Grant. And who else but the player of the year in the entire province of Ontario, who had a monster game. And you know, Zach, the amount of scoring he did in just the first quarter really set the tone. It looked like he was on pace for another 40-point game, much like he did back in late January.
Yeah, Grant had himself a sensational game. They're going to get the big-time picture taken. They have that overly sized ticket. They're all looking at the ticket.
And in a moment, we'll have a little inside conversation from our sideline reporter, Will Shukri, and Malik Grant. But Zach, it's going to be must-see TV. Don't drop that ticket, as we will have the finale of this whole season, right? You think this begins all the way back in October, and now it all comes down to some late, well, actually, it'll be the first few days of March when the provincial championship is decided.
And Malik Grant, he'll start making his way on over to our sideline reporter, Will Shukri. Again, player of the game, OCAA player of the year. Malik Grant, what a year he had, what a game he had. He's there with our sideline reporter, Will.
Oh. Here with Malik Grant, player of the game. Great game for you today. More than 20 points, padded in assists and rebounds. Just domination from the whole squad today. What was the message going into today's game?
Man, just play defense. So that's our identity. That's what we do. We play defense, and then it creates offense. So that's all we got to do for the rest of the year.
Well, the Wolves only managed 11 points in that first quarter, so defense might have worked out. Obviously, you guys just punched your ticket to the Final Four. You're the best in the OCAA. You're going to be hosting it here in the Hawks Nest. What does it mean to play those big games in front of your home crowd?
I mean, man, it's a great opportunity because we have our fans behind us as well as the rest of the team and the guys, So it's just extra support. It gets us going, It gets us up every night, every time we have a game. So shout out to the fans.
And what's the message for the rest of the OCAA coming into these final games?
I mean, man, it's just going to be a battle. Throughout every game that we play, good luck to everybody else.
Thank you very much, sir. Great game. Congratulations on everything. Well, that is going to be all for us here. Your Humber Hawks win. They will move on to the OCAA Final Four matchup here in the Hawks Nest. That is going to be all for us today. Thank you very much. Good night from Toronto.